All right, today I'm at Ennismore Waterfront Park, and I want to continue a thought I had in the previous video. I was talking about confidence and walking up confidently to your shot and focusing on the, your goal and your gap and not being distracted by thoughts about your possibility of missing or possibility of having a bad shot. And let's just be serious, doubts happen all the time. But one of the spots that I think this is most important is actually on the putting green. When you're lining up a putt, you have to have the confidence that you're gonna make this putt, even when it's something like this that's only 10 feet. And I think that confidence is actually more important than the times where you're driving, because if you have a little bit of a doubt, you're not gonna make your putt. Perfect example was my round today, where I played bad. And part of it was I'd walk up to putts and I would just question the putt before I even made it. And then what happened? I missed the putt. And the thing was, I kept being like, oh man, it's right there. And I would miss my putt. And then right after, I'd be like, come on, Jared. And I could sink it, not a problem. And I think there's times where we walk up to our lie and we're here and we're like, oh, this tree's in the way. And we just step out and we're still thinking about the tree as we miss our putts. Meanwhile, what we should be doing, we walk up to our lie, tree's in the way. Okay, looking. Okay, I'm still thinking about that tree. Step back for a second, collect myself. Now step up to my putt. And I can get it. Not a problem. Why? Because the first time I was so distracted by the tree, and I never let myself get undistracted. I never focused myself up. And I think a perfect example was this shot earlier in the day. I was here. This tree's kind of here. It shouldn't really be in the way, but I thought about it. And the thing was, I was so distracted that I did something like that. Meanwhile, what I should have done was just like, okay, take a moment. I knew where my feet should be to have a clear view. So just take a moment, myself. Okay, I've now lined myself. I've focused myself up without focusing on that tree. When I step here first, I'm like, oh, there's a tree. So go over. That tree is still in my focus. It's not out of the focus of my shot, because it seems really large. Whereas instead, I step back. Okay, I know where my feet are supposed to be. I step forward and I focus in. I just bring my focus direct to the basket without the tree. The shot's right there. And it's because I take my focus off of everything, reset myself, and set myself on the shot rather than the tree. And if you were to talk to my card mates from today, they could tell you the number of times I was getting my second shot and not getting my first. And a big thing was walking up with a lack of confidence. Walking up and being like, man, I've been missing today. Gotta get those thoughts out of your head. The second those are in your head, you're done. You're not gonna make it. And I think that's something that, especially for us that are not, high-level players, it's good to remember that sometimes step back, refocus. And I still have to work on my long putts. I still have to work on my step putts. But the thing is, because I'm focused on the wrong things, I'm distracted by the possibilities of failure. What ends up happening? I fail. And I'm not trying to talk like, oh, I have all the answers or I'm this genius. I'm talking through things that I've been thinking about and trying to grow myself. And I don't know about you, whether you're part of a putting league or anything like that, but I know for a lot of us, being a part of a putting league, we're all like, oh, this is just like a putting league. I should be able to do this. But I think a big difference is a putting league, we're having fun and, we're not distracted by the distractions as much. When we come out to the course, we're thinking about, oh, this is going to affect my score. And yes, this shot is like a putting league, but it's somehow different, even though in a lot of ways, there's less distractions being out here. Because at putting league, there's people having conversations all around you, and there's more people hitting chains beside you. And like for my putting league, there's been the music going on, and that's gone here. You're in nature. You're probably only three or four people. And my biggest distraction right now is really just talking to camera and being distracted by, hey, don't embarrass yourself on camera. But that's where I really think that the big power is the power to step back, reset yourself. Get your shot. And with a drive, you have a big area that you're trying to hit, kind of. But with a putt, an area that you're trying to hit becomes way smaller. So just a little bit off makes a big difference to your score. a little bit off with my drive. You know, I'm thinking hole 1 here. There's a lot of open space that I can try and hit with hole 1. But with the basket, you're just looking at a couple of feet. And sometimes, you know, 3 inches up or down is the difference between in or out. Same with right to left. Sometimes like 3 inches towards the center of the basket and it's catching the chains going in, but where you hit, it bounced out. And listening to Gannon and Isaac talk, they talked about how there is the sweet spot for range when you're practicing because it's about building your confidence. If you're hitting absolutely everything at 5 feet, you're not really learning much. Step back. But if you're at like 25 feet and you're missing 7 out of your 10 discs, you should probably step forward.